I do. If they go anywhere, it'll be on the backs of the health of the O-line in the run game. Dude, that's the biggest takeaway you can have for these 2 days. Jimbo, I know they don't like when I give the Eagles credit, it's like a whisper. I said the 2 things you should take away from these controlled scrimmages is that the run defense showed up today and the O-lines and the run game showed up. I don't know what else to say. Your passing game is never going to show up because it's never been a factor. Why would it be a factor now? It won't be. The big question is whether the Eagles will give Mannion enough time to find out if he's a big-time coach or who is at the beginning of his run. I'm not sure why they would do that with a win-now team. Agreed. And I agree with that take. Slagger, they've shown no patience with coaches that didn't excel to their level. They've shown zero patience. Why would Mannion get more patience? The guy's 50-18 in 4 years, Nick. Unless somebody told him, you got to win today. A.J. Brown is probably so happy that he isn't running 25 hitch routes a game. Pretty sad when the DB knew what route A.J. was going to run before the snap in Philly. That comes down to what Marshall says. Okay? That's 5 years ago. And Kellen Moore, patience? They had patience after 4 games and took his passing offense away from him and went to the run game. There was no patience. They bailed on all the motion. Kellen's offense, after 4 games, they bailed and went to the run game. They didn't have patience with Kellen Moore. They bailed. Again, I've never seen more people lie in my life than in here. Honest to God, they bailed on Kellen Moore's passing offense. Ugh. I tried giving these guys opportunities, but they're seriously drying up. Still, seeing that interaction with Hurts and AJ, which was cool, it seems like they let a personal situation go. Seems like it was more personal between them instead of AJ leaving because of an on-field thing. No, dude, I think they're all in a better place right now. I think Hurts feels pretty good about where he is, and I think AJ feels pretty good about where he is. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to the end of the season. Let's see here. Sills, I like the fact he's running and throwing over the middle. It shows Jalen is perfecting his passing like Lamar did. Absolutely. The 5 picks that Hurts threw in 2 days, I'm not really all that upset with that. No, 5 in 2 days. He had 3 yesterday. 5 in 2 days he had. Okay? I think they're working on a lot of stuff. The higher the volume in passing, the more picks and turnovers you're going to have. You can't sit here and go, well, I want to see the passing game improve. And if the guy has a bunch of picks and a controlled scrimmage over 2 days, well, you got to learn to live with them working on improving the volume of passing. You can't sit here and go, 5 picks, 2 days, that's terrible. 5 picks in 2 days? Okay. They must be upping the volume of pass plays. Well, they're climbing a little out of that risk averse when they're doing this. Dude, you can't have it both ways. You can't have a guy throw the football 550. This will be a total lie. Nick can't call plays. That's not a lie. No, that's not a lie. Nick can't call plays. Nick can't call plays for Hurts. Nick had the best passing offense in pro football as the passing coordinator in San Diego with Phillip Rivers. Between him and Frank, they constructed an offense that put together, and when Phillip went to Indianapolis, they did the same thing. This is the problem. Why we can't address this. What issue? He hired a shitty play caller? Marshall, where in God's name have you not heard me criticize him for hiring KP 2.0? Where did you not hear that? Bro, seriously, dude? No. Stay focused. You're doing a lot. Folks, how many times have I addressed Nick Sirianni hiring Kevin Patullo 2.0? Oh, my God. Marshall is, seriously, he's the guy you can't have a conversation with. You know why? He don't want to hear it. Damn, dude. I mean, that's ridiculous. Sills, I give more credit to Frank over Nick. Okay? Not saying he didn't have a part in it, but Frank was more vital to the success than Nick was. You're right, because he was the initial play caller. And Nick was more constructing it. This season could be make or break for Landon Dickerson. He's on a minimal snap counts. They're just trying to get him to week 1. Okay. Sills, do you think Howie and the Eagles will steer clear from diva, big-time wide receivers now that the experience they had with AJ? You mean 50-18? 2 NFC titles? A Super Bowl? And the 4th most receiving yards? Why would you? I would never do that. I would want to coach everybody. It's my responsibility as a head football coach to not exclude and include. Thank God Jimmy Johnson didn't have that mentality. And I always told you guys this. This is one of the reasons there was a coach back in the day by the name of Dean Smith. He never wanted to coach anybody who didn't have his personality. I think that's why he only won 2 national championships. I appreciate these supers. Now you can't have a convo with me, Sills. You'll change next week. I don't know where you think I glaze Nick. Does anybody in here think I glaze Nick Sirianni? I mean, that's just made up. That's just made up. Has anyone ever heard me glaze Nick? Has anyone ever heard me do that? Has anyone ever heard me glaze Nick or Hurts as a skill set? Sills has to let Hurts let his balls hang. Sills, Nick has to let Hurts let his balls hang. Interceptions will go up. Hopefully yards and TDs do as well. Yes, that's the whole point. Correct. Yes. Sills, would you say there are five best D linemen of all time? White, Smith, Green, Page, and Deacon Jones? Green is the greatest defensive tackle that's ever lived. Randy White would be in that conversation too. Trey, yes, I remember. They actually tried a version of it in the same game, Super Bowl, and Brady dropped it. Sills has stayed the same when it comes to his opinion on Nick. Sills has even gone back and forth with Xander over Nick being overrated. Marshall doesn't want to hear that. Marshall thinks that I defend Nick. Where in God's name has that been? You'll have to show me the tape on that one. Sills, with big-time decisions coming next season, who do you think will be a bigger priority by season's end? Jalix or DeJean? DeJean. Well, DeJean as of now. Both can do a lot, but Hunt could surpass him. Marshall Sills has always criticized Nick because we all know he can't coach, and it's for only the talent that we succeed. And I agree with Sills. Get this. How many times have I asked all of you, what's Nick's job? There. You people stop worrying about my pockets. That ain't your business. I support this platform. Great show, Sills. We just disagree. Marshall, do you really think that I support? Wait, I do want to do this. Marsh, and I appreciate you. You know I love you. Listen, you really think I support Nick when I ask every day what his job is? And why would you hire another nobody as coordinator? You don't hear me say that? Damn, dude. I'm disappointed you don't hear me say that. Because I must have said that 5,000 times. I'm really, man. I don't think Nick's a good coach. I think Nick's George Seifert. You never heard that. Me compare him to George Seifert. Sills, for some people, if you don't blame any struggle Jalen has on Nick, then you aren't being critical enough of Nick. Hurts too, dude. You just don't go as hard on him as Hurts, bro, because players are more important than the coaches. Player production first versus coaches. Okay? What's up, Sills? You freaking Sirianni lover. The beautiful thing about Nick's job is no one knows his real job description. I'm pretty sure he just follows orders. Three of the 5 INTs off of wide receiver hands. Well, that's what happens when you have high volume. Enough with Sills loves Nick. He literally clowns him almost every day. Just please ignore them, Sills. It's getting pathetic and embarrassing at this point. Jesus Christ. It is. It is. I've never done that. Sills, I think that if Jalen uses his legs more and continues to throw over the middle with success, I think he could be more dangerous than in 22. In 22, he had a competent play caller, though. Here, Donnell, you think Sean Mannion is going to... Hey, I got a question for you, Donnell. Sean Mannion played the position of quarterback, right? Was he a dual threat quarterback? I don't know this. Was Sean Mannion a dual threat quarterback when he played in the league? Was he dual threat? When not to your knowledge. Does anybody know? Did Sean Mannion play dual threat as a player? Let me take a look at his numbers. Sean Mannion. What kind of player was he? Sean Mannion. Here we go. Got stats for him. Okay. So Sean Mannion played, or he was in the league 6 years, 2 starts. Let's see. Did he run the ball? Let's see if he ran it. Let's see here. Here's Sean Mannion's stats as a runner. -1, -2, -9, -5. He had a 6-year average for his career, -3 yards. So I'm assuming he wasn't a dual threat quarterback. How would he know how to coach Jalen? Look at this. I think Sean Mannion is going to be a good play caller. I'm not sure Hurts is the best fit for him. I thought it was going to be a shitty take, but that's not. Sean Mannion has a career average of -3 rushing, and he's coaching a dual threat guy. Got it. And to Marshall's point, who hired him? He wasn't, but if he's a good coach and has Hurts as a quarterback, he should want to get the best out of Hurts. It all depends. The style doesn't matter. The fundamentals of the game and the execution of it all does. How would that guy know how to teach somebody something that he's never taught anybody? Because you read it in a book? Sean, not the style coach going to take his main skill away. We'll see. No, well, we'll see. Seals, could you teach linebackers? Yeah, because they play behind me. And I know what their fits are. And I know what their responsibilities are. How many times did Seth Joyner come on this program and say, if you're going to take a gap, make sure the LB behind you knows what you're doing. If you see a big split, remember, the number one objective, especially if you're in a 34 and you're in a single gap, is to make sure that cutback plays go to the backer. If you're in a 34, your job is to keep people off the linebackers and the 4 backers. It's a different skill set. Seals, I gave my cousin 71 big fan that Nick hired Mannion. He laughed and said, it's Howie's team. If he didn't want him as OC, he wouldn't be here. Your thoughts? I just don't get the hiring of people that aren't qualified. I just don't. I mean, you have this is Sean Mannion's resume. Right there. That's his resume. I'll say this. Q said it. AJ's going to look better in this offense than he did in the Philly offense. Why? More options. Do you not get why AJ is going to look better in this offense? And Q already sees it. There's more options in the New England offense than in the Eagle offense. Coaching, correct. Here, he didn't say that. I've got the direct quote from Yahoo. Okay? He did say that. This guy lies, man. That's it. finish with him. Guys, listen. Why do you think he's going to be better? Okay? Why do you think he's going to be better? More options, more creative passing routes, more opportunities, more abilities to be able to get him open. And at the end of the day, guess what? You're going to see more open space. Sills, AJ will look better because May can put AJ in a position to go get the ball instead of waiting for the ball. Correct. May's a better passer. Flexen are worried about my support and finances. They don't know I had a rent. I paid a rent around these parts. Yeah. Here, been supporting Sills and Xander a long time. Absolutely. Marshall has complete autonomy to disagree with me, call me out, what have you. No doubt about it. Big fan of Marshall. He does it right. He don't agree with me. Shit, he's probably 70-30 that he doesn't agree with me. Damn, what is he supposed to say? I think AJ's going to stink without us. Come on, man. Okay, so wait a minute. You're going to say that. You think. Well, game recognizes game, dude. Dude, did you not hear what A.J. Brown said the first day? Quinyon Mitchell's a great football player. He's going to continue to get better and better and better and better. Okay? Love Big Marsh, but he has some shit takes when it comes to Sirianni. See? We love Marsh, but we completely disagree. I disagree with Xander on Sirianni. Sills, Nick hires these coaches so that they could get blamed for being new and not him. We'll never have an experienced OC as long as Nick is here. And by the way, remember something when you hired Kellen, he had been fired twice. Reek with a nice undercut of AJ's route today and had a pick six. Yeah, he rebounded a lot today because he was terrible yesterday. So he had a shitty day and a good day. Good for him. It's a way to bounce back. That's a way to bounce back. By the way, I even have a topic here with that. You worried about Tariq Woolen? He was terrible yesterday. Got beat like a drum. Came back and had a good day. You worried about him? Or is it this some of the stuff that Seattle saw? Shitty day, good day. Shitty day, good day. Are you worried about Tariq Woolen? Seals, do you think Reek is bored in practice? A guy who's on a 1-year contract? And he's on a prove-it deal? Yes. Woolen is inconsistent. That's why he's not in Seattle. Shitty day, good day. Well, bro, there's very few people that will be, okay? Is it a DB's best trait about forgetting the last day and focusing on the next? It is. Seals, Manning will need to modify the West Coast offense to allow Hurts to use the skills he has and not the skills he doesn't. That's asking a lot of a kid since Kellen Moore couldn't, and he had experience. Yeah, I mean, to sit here and think that Sean Mannion is going to be a better OC than Kellen Moore is stupid. Well, he'll be better. Kellen Moore couldn't figure it out. Sean Mannion will? Okay. With a lesser wide receiving core. Dude, I know you guys are trying to pump these other guys up, and there's a part of me that respects that, but stop it. Those guys are dudes. And they've never done shit before in their careers. Yes, 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 I do think that. The best thing that Tariq Woolen has is that he has Vic. Absolutely true. Yes. Yes, Wicks is a dude. Where's his greatness, Nick? Where do you see greatness? Where have you seen greatness in 4 years? In a pass-happy offense, where have you seen greatness? With a better passing quarterback with Love, he's proven. What's he proven, Nick? Nick, number 1 targeted wide receiver in Green Bay. Okay, let's take a look at this. Wicks' career. Here's the number 1 receiver in Green Bay. Dontavian Jerry Rice Wicks. Here's his stats and what he did in Green Bay. Let's take a look at it. And what he brought to the table in his 3 years. 39 catches, 39 catches, 30 catches. Whew. Man, what a target. That's a big-time target. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what here, brother. You know what, Nick? You saw these last 2 days, what you're going to miss. That guy's got 2 initials. AJ. Whoa! Damn. Man. What do you have? 9 touchdowns in 2 days? Shit. That's what you're going to miss. Oh, by the way, so much for losing a step. This guy was cooking like he was Betty Crocker. Holy shit. He is stirring that shit up, and he is just making it all happen. Go, AJ. Woo, man, that was something to watch. This guy was just all over the place, man. This guy was cooking pasta fazool. This guy was cooking lobsters. This guy was cooking. Q got burned. Done. AJ Betty Crocker Brown. I'm just cooking. What did you have for dinner tonight? Q soup. Hey, what'd you have today? I had some Q soup. That's what I had. As much as we'll miss him as a player, our offense as a whole won't look worse than it did last year, hopefully. That'll be the positive. Yeah, if that damn run game like it did comes back, yeah. Nice big old Q soup. What's in that Q soup? Tight route. Put that tight route, big hands, big catching. Woo! Man, stir that up. Got yourself AJ Brown soup. Yeah. Sills, why not talk about our D-line and run game destroying the Patriots? I've already done that 5 times. I've already done that. Well, I've done that. I opened the show with that. Did I not open the show with saying AJ had a phenomenal 2 days? That was the storyline. And second, if you're an Eagle fan, your biggest takeaway is that your D-line yesterday was great, and your O-line showed up. What did you not hear? Are you really worried about Q or just happy for AJ? No. I think both got better today. I think Quinyon Mitchell got better and AJ Brown got better. It's called competition. I love it. Only you would look at it like that. Happy for AJ? I love seeing people compete. Happy for Q. By the way, after Q made a play on him, I saw AJ walking up the sidelines and Q stopped because he gave him some pointers. Like he did all the other times when he was there the last 4 years. That's brotherly love, dude. That's helping each other out. What did you not get from that? Sills, the only thing we don't know is if Hurts can click with Mannion. And the way he clicked with Shane, sometimes, yeah, but they're two different coaches, dude. Yeah, what's up with that? Well, probably nothing. Probably nothing. Oh, by the way, I heard it was really good weather today in New England. What's up with Jake Elliott? I mean, what's up here? Eagles just going to give that guy a job? And he stunk for 2 years? And you're going in to like the regular season, giving that guy the benefit of the doubt? Wow. Get this. With a football team that's going to be a defense and run-oriented team, you're going to need that guy. You're going to need that dude. You don't have a very good field goal and extra point team right now. And anybody who says they do is, again, giving the guy the benefit of the doubt. And not recent history. You're only as good as the last play you make, game you played, kick you missed or made. That's how you're gauged in this league. Not the history. You know, Jake Elliott's on the team for his history, not because of his production the last 2 years. I mean, he's not here for production. He's here because of the money, and he's here because of his history. Nothing else. I mean, the whole point of practice was for each team to get better, and they did. It's fine to say they struggled for both teams at different areas because the both teams have great. That's what it is. I also said, Matthew, both teams got better over the last 2 days. Matthew, I'm not saying you didn't hear me say that, but I did say that. Both teams got better. They're two good football teams. Hey, I tell my daughter this all the time. When you play top competition, they're good too. They get paid. They're professionals. They're good too. They were just in the Super Bowl. They're good too. Okay? I mean, oh yeah. I wrote this down, the 2026 New England Patriots. I love how everybody thought that Rossini thing would be an issue. It's a non-factor. And the Patriots are going to be better. Mike Vrabel's first year coaching. Mike Vrabel takes him to the Super Bowl? Well, Sills, they had a weak schedule. All right, wait a minute. His first year coaching, Mike Vrabel takes the Patriots to the Super Bowl. I don't know. That's a pretty good first year coming off of a 4-win team. Maybe he's a good coach. Seals, do you think they'll have the same type of success that they had a year ago? Will they go as far? I don't know. Last year, the AFC, what was the biggest advantage in the AFC last year? Anybody know? Anybody know? What was, there you go. No Burrow, no Lamar, and no Mahomes. So you may not get that this year. All three of those quarterbacks didn't make the postseason. So you had an easier route. Now you've got three things to think about. Now you've got those guys to think about that are going to get their teams to the playoffs. So if you're the Patriots, it's going to be a tougher climb for them, okay? Because the teams are going to get better. Mahomes is going to stay healthier. Lamar, we'll see what happens with Lamar and this new coach, Jesse Mentor. I'm not there. And Joe Burrow. We'll see if that defense gets better. But you got better quarterbacks over there. Dude, seriously. In the NFC, the quarterbacks are okay. The quarterbacks in the AFC are superior. Superior. Baker Mayfield's a fine player. Purdy's a fine ball player. Goff is above being he's good too. Stafford is great. Darnold and Hurts are kind of the same guy. And over in the AFC, you've got Burrow, Allen, Mahomes. You got all them guys. Better quarterbacks. I love how people look at that when I make that comment. You don't think anybody is better than your guy. Oh, man. Sills, why didn't Howie bring in a kicker to compete with Elliott? If Elliott is inconsistent, he will have to find another kicker during the season. That's for damn sure. I don't know. Pats played the top three pass rushers or pass rushing in all around defense in the playoffs with their line playing hurt and their receivers not getting open. It was honestly the hardest playoff road an offense has ever seen. Actually, the defenses that you did play, the Patriots, was the most difficult run of any team. I pointed that out the other day. 1, 2, 4, and 6. You played in rankings and defense to make it to the Super Bowl. Absolutely. For the Patriots to do what they did with that limited skill set offense and to get into the playoffs and to get to the Super Bowl was pretty remarkable, and a little luck when Knicks went down. But they played the top-ranked defenses in pro football. Like, they played 4 of the top 6 defenses in the playoffs in the 4 games. That's a fact. Absolutely. If the Rams don't win it, and by the way, getting to the NFC title game and even getting to the Super Bowl, if they get to the Super Bowl and lose it, it's still a lost season. Absolutely true. The Texans have this great defense, but their wide receiver room is dead. I think Nico Collins is pretty good. I think he's a pretty good player. Do I think he's a superstar elite guy? That's debatable because I don't really think you have a superstar elite passer. Boy, you talk about a guy who started hot and walking back a little bit. I think that's got a lot to do with the O-line in Houston. I don't think the O-line's very good. And they have to be good for that guy, or they're going to be in trouble. Betty Crocker. Hey, Quinyon Mitchell soup. Why is everyone talking like the Pats are some juggernaut? Denver should have been. Get this. You see these comments? Here's a guy that doesn't understand pro football. Denver should have been there, but Knicks broke his ankle. Welcome to the NFL, guy. That's not an excuse. You won a Super Bowl with that exact situation. And you didn't make an excuse of it. That is without a doubt the stupidest thing, and it contradicts your 2017 season. Does it not? Wait a second. You lost your quarterback when you were 14-2, 13-2. You get a quarterback in there who's a backup journeyman in Nick Foles, and you go on and win a Super Bowl. It's not the same thing? Okay. Welcome to the NFL. Players get hurt, guy. When you lost Jason Peters and you put another dude out there, did it stop Philly? No. You beat the Patriots. It's not the point. The point is they lost their starting quarterback who was an MVP and Wentz. Holy shit. This is a narrative right here. It didn't fit his 2017 season with the Eagles was exactly where the Broncos were in the AFC title game when they lost their quarterback. For him, hey, Denver should have been there. But for him, not the same situation. Okay. You can't make that shit up. Dude, why aren't you talking more about the joint sessions? Because I don't really cover the Patriots. And I did. Did you not hear me say Drake made 4 touchdowns, 2 picks in today's day 2? I just learned one thing. Some of you don't want to hear anything. You only want to hear what you want to hear. So you'd rather be lied to. Both played some good ball before 17. Denver backup's a bum. That's not the point. So when Hostetler went in for Sims and they won a Super Bowl, it's the same situation. Jesus. Or when Brady got hurt for the AFC Championship game back in the early 2000s, and Drew went in. Then they took Drew back out and put Brady back in. Injuries happen, guy. It's part of football. Shoulda, woulda. This guy shoulda, woulda, coulda. That guy woulda, shoulda, coulda. Hey, if Nakobe Dean was healthy, he'd still be an Eagle. Okay, here's another one here. That was really your last dress rehearsal. That was your last dress rehearsal. You're not playing during the exhibition season at all. You're not putting guys in. That's it. Okay? That's it. So how many days until September 13th? 24. You're 24 days to the opener. All the work is in. You probably have, how many practices now? You probably have 4 more practices. Okay? How do you feel about heading into the season? Where you are right now? Seals, why you had a failed NFL career? I don't know. I played 3 years. It's called average. Thanks for the super. I don't know. I was in the league 3 years. Average career length of an NFL player is 3 years. I don't know. Hey, by the way, why did you have a failed NFL career? It's always like an oxymoron, isn't it? When somebody says that, or there's only been 20,000 men ever play. Okay. Bro, I'm very proud to be an NFLPA member. Sills, Foles did well because of Frank Wright and Peterson. And that's not the point. You lost somebody. Guy went in and won. You're missing the point. I'm not talking what backup's better. Why can't you folks follow along? Bo Nix got hurt. That's part of football. Jason Peters got hurt. You put another guy in. Dude, injuries are not a reason for excuses. Injuries are not an excuse. It's part of the game. It's why there's 53 men on the roster. It's why when you lost to Kobe Dean, you put Oren Burks in. Jesus criminy. What are you not getting? Man. Oh, my God. I like the run game has quietly come on. Yes. 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 You should clearly, over these 2 days that you just had with New England, I think the number one takeaway, your passing game is always going to stink. You just don't want it to stink out loud. But when you hear people talking that your run game's back, that makes me go, okay. That's a great sign. So people don't understand the next man up, and I know, because the folks, or it's not everybody, but most of the folks in here are excuse machines, and don't understand it's a team sport. It's why there's 53 men on the roster. Injuries are not part of it. It's next guy up. Yet players cry just getting into the NFL because they understand it's the elite of the elite. Not every player has a 15-year career. These couch potatoes opinions on other people's career floors me. At DFW. I know. And get this. The people who say that stuff to me have no legacy of their own. Vic says Hurts looks lighter and quicker, okay? As long as he has that running threat, that'll help Hurts in the passing. Yes. Okay? Laugh from my ass off. Sills made it to the NFL meeting. He was one of 150 or so of the best DTs in the world at what he does. What are the chances will ever be one of the top 150 at anything? You got to remember, too, back then, there were 47 players on a roster, not 53. There were 47. So the chances of you making a team were lesser. Today, 71 make it, counting the practice squad. 71 make it. Compared to 47. Those comments don't bother me. They used to back in the day, but then I realized most of the people that are talking like that have never done shit in their lives. Seals, there's been so many starters getting injured in the AFC. I've seen that. Chargers, Houston, Ravens, etc. I could see Howie moving our depth or something we need. You know what my theory is on that? David, my theory is the AFC throws the ball more, which means you get more opportunities for guys in cuts, like in camp. Whereas in the NFC, I think you run the ball more. And I think that has always been a difference in the two conferences. AFC throws the ball more. NFC more is a more power football team. Even the Cowboys improved last year running the ball. That's why their offense went to number 1, is because they ran the ball. Rams run the ball. The Bears run the ball. The Eagles run the ball. All the top teams, the 49ers run the ball. All the top teams in the NFC, they all run the ball. And the AFC throws it more. That's why I think you see more ankle injuries in the AFC. Okay? Lions, they run the ball. Correct. I've always thought, and now that's a theory, that on that side of the football, I've always thought get more opportunity, guy blowing a knee out in a route. Curtis, bro, misery loves company. They never played sports. If they did, they need garbage. It's all good, man. It's just, hey, every time somebody brings that shit up, it's like, okay, what have you done? Sills, is LaFleur on the hot seat this year in Green Bay? Maybe. You got to win eventually, don't you? Okay? Yeah. They are. All the top big backs, except for and this is what blows my doors off about Baltimore. You've got Derrick Henry, and you want to throw the ball 38 times in an AFC championship game? Why? Play Eagle football. Play Eagle football. So I'm one of the few that believe Hurts deserves a long leash. I do too. Hey, dude, SS, have you ever heard me in a billion years ever say, bench the player? It's time for a new quarterback. I've never said that. As a matter of fact, I don't think anybody on this channel has ever said this. It's time for a quarterback change. Nobody. And we're not even in that conversation right now.